a grid. And we use this all the time. If you think about it, the entire Earth, the whole world is cut up into a grid. What do we call those? We have lines of latitude and longitude, and it works on the same system. If you were ever like in the middle of the ocean and you didn't know, how to tell somebody exactly where you are, you just can't tell them to go to the speedway or turn left or whatever, because the water all looks alike, you would give them your coordinates based on lines of latitude and longitude. Well, that's the same thing with your little grid that you have, just on a way smaller sort of scale. And there's a few things you need to know about this coordinate plane. That's what this thing is called. Okay, because it's a place where you can take your coordinates. You don't have to draw this because I gave you a piece of paper that already has them on there. Sometime you might have to draw them, but okay, you already have them on your paper. But you need to label these and make sure you know what these are. We have this, the horizontal line is the x-axis. And this, the vertical line, is the y-axis. And your paper probably already has an x and a y there, so you don't have to write those on there. And the place where the x and y axis meet is called the origin. Okay, the place where they meet is called the origin. Make sure I get all these things in here. And I don't know, I guess they don't tell you this, but I'll tell you this because it'll maybe come in handy sometime here. Up until this point, last year probably when we did this, we only dealt with one, what we call quadrant, and it was probably this one here. We called this I don't like that color. Let's go blue, I guess. We called this the first quadrant, and for some reason in math they use Roman numerals for that. This is the second quadrant. This is the third quadrant. And it's a dead spot as well. And this is the fourth quadrant. Okay. And the way that you find actual points on those coordinate systems is what we call an ordered pair. And it's called an ordered pair because the order of it matters. Can I help you with something?
Change spots.
What's that?
We're wondering if we're going to change spots.
Like right now?
Like
Right in the middle of a math lesson?
After this.
Probably not. I was wondering, are you going to take notes? Charlie, you got this down or no? Maybe that would probably be something that would help you grade a little bit more than changing the spots at this point. And an ordered pair, ladies and gentlemen, must have a parenthesis and a comma, and it is two numbers in that ordered pair that make up the ordered pair, and that tells you exactly where the dot or the place you're looking for is. Now, in that ordered pair, you have the first number, and that first number is the x number. The second one is the y number. And there's a couple different ways to go about finding that point 2, -3. Okay? You can find 2 on the x-axis, which means it would be this line right here. Here is the number 2 on the x-axis. Everything on that line is x equals 2. -3 on the y-axis would be your -1, -2, -3 is everything on this line right here. Okay, this is -3. The place where those two lines intersect is the point that this ordered pair stands for. Okay, so you can think about it that way, or you could also think about it like this. The 2, the first number is the over number, and the 3, the second number, is the up and down number. In other words, if you start at the origin, I'm going to go over 2, down 3 because it's negative. Over 1, 2, down 1, 2, 3. And that's going to be the same thing as to where those points intersect and cross. Okay? I don't think we've done the negative quadrants yet. As a matter of fact, I am going to yank over here a quadrant system here, I think, just so we can practice here. Gallery, oh, is it still open? Sorry. Give me a second here. There we go. We got math stuff here somewhere? Mathematics. What would this be under in math? Somebody? Oh, graphs. Maybe what size graphs would you say? How about the XY axis medium?
Yeah.
Right there.
Totally what I'm saying.
And the reason why it's a little big is because I'm looking at quite a ways there. There it is right there. Okay, so let's just take a look and see if we can find these points here. By the way, if you are drawing these coordinate systems, if you're drawing these graphs, make sure when you number these, the numbers go on the lines, not in the spaces. Okay, in other words, I don't put a 1 in that space, I put a 1 on the line, 2 on the line, 3 on the line, 4 on the line, 5 on the line. Same thing here, -1, -2, they're lines, they're not spaces. Okay, so if I'm looking for, let's say, -3, -2, -3, -2 in parentheses. Okay, -3 is right here. -2 down, right here. -3, -2. If I was looking for, what if it was 0, 6? Where would that point be? 0 on the x-axis is right here. 6 on the y-axis is right here. 0, 6. And the only words I can warn you with are, most of the time when people do this wrong, they just go backwards. In other words, they go 0 on the y-axis and then 6 on the x-axis. You got to make sure the first one is the x, the second one is the y. Alex?
It's right where the 6 on the y-axis is.
What's that?
It's right there.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I thought you wanted us to tell you.
I already put it up there. 6. How about this? Tell me what coordinate would that be? What coordinate would that be right there? You say you can't see it?
No.
Or are you trying to count? What is the coordinates for that point right there? Again, you want to find the x coordinate first, which would be this one, and then the y one. How far over is it? How far up is it? Phil, it is
-3.
-1, -2, -3, -4. And how high up is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. -4, 4. How about this one right here? Now let's go over here. What would be the coordinates of that point right there? Sam says
8, -1.
6, 7, 8, and it's down 1, so it's -1.
No, 7.
Did I write 7? Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
That. 8, -1. How about this one? What would that point be right there? Kyle?
0, no. -0 and -6.
Yep, -6. They give you these red lines so you can count every 2. -6. How about this one right here? Nate?
-9, 0.
-9, 0. Thank you very much. You are correct. Okay, now what I'm going to do, turn to page 366, please, in your books. Let me explain what you was going to do here.